Well, to analyze what China is up to and whether we should take it seriously, in fact, more seriously than Pakistan, we have two people who know China better than anybody else. We have G. Parthasarthi, a former diplomat, now a security expert. In fact, you went to China with Rajiv Gandhi and you're a China watcher. And we have Jaydev Ranade. I know we shouldn't say this on air, formerly with RAW, based in China, so you know the inside story of China. Tell me how serious. Is this something that India should be concerned about, being encircled by China?
Pranoy, let me tell you recent developments. Just after Mumbai, you had a Chinese scholar from the Council for International Relations linked to the Central Committee, saying that if India took action against Pakistan, China would annex southern Tibet, meaning Arunachal Pradesh. This is on the record. This is on the record. They ridiculed us after Mumbai. They have improved communications both in Tibet and along the Arunachal Pradesh sector, both through Nepal and downwards. So their communications are perfect. Our roads are in a very bad shape. We are understaffed, understrength, and I'm glad 2 more divisions are being raised. Maritime, look at it this way. They have surrounded us with getting base facilities in Gwadar in Pakistan. The Chinese Navy, for the first time after the 15th century, has moved into the Indian Ocean. They are developing aircraft carriers and nuclear submarine fleet. And their relations with Pakistan. Pakistan's nuclear weapons program, where they are modernizing warheads with plutonium, is based on reactors supplied by the Chinese to Kushab.
And even recently, the Americans, I think just yesterday or today, have asked China's help with Pakistan to influence Pakistan. The Americans.
But that's the point. They have been emboldened by their new relationship with the Obama administration, which has been very solicitous of them. Look at the conventional supplies. 200 modern fighters of JF-17, then of J-10 fighters, another 3 squadrons. So both their missiles, Pakistani missiles, Shaheen-1, Shaheen-2, are Chinese DF-9, DF-18. So on the sea, ranging from Gwadar, a new naval presence, they've got facilities, they're building facilities in Hambantota, they've got seeking facilities in Myanmar. What they call is a string of pearls around us in the Indian Ocean. And the Chinese admiral tells the Pacific Fleet Admiral of the United States, he has the gall to tell him, leave the Western Pacific and the Indian Ocean to us and stick on just in the Eastern Pacific. Meaning, the Indian Ocean is something we are looking at.
And
one last thing, politically, in Nepal they're playing games with the Maoist cadres.
They're into Burma.
They're into Burma.
They're into Sri Lanka.
In Hambantota.
Nepal, now we're talking about Pakistan, of course, is a historic thing. So we're literally encircled. You've lived in China, you've worked, you've watched, very closely analyzed. What is the explanation? Why are they doing this? They do have one eye on India. Are they worried about India's strength in this region? What is the background, the real reason behind this encircling of India?
Well, I think it's a 2-tiered kind of explanation one could offer. One is their global aspirations. They've felt for a long time that they need to regain the space that they had at some point and share power with the dominant power in the world, which is USA. And I would say that the remarks which Admiral Keating made recently, quoting a Chinese naval officer, are in that context. That you keep, one half, we'll keep another half, Western Pacific up to Persian Gulf. The second is, of course, their feeling that India, at one point in time, was a rival, and they wanted to ensure, I suppose, that they had a dominant role in the region. This is part of that. And that is how I would sort of also view there being the Americans trying to co-opt them to sort of help out in the situation in Pakistan.
Right.
Them and Saudi Arabia.
I'm told that in Sri Lanka, in the recent crisis, the Sri Lankans came to India, asked for weapons. India said, let us think about it. It was a bad time. Elections coming. It's not a good thing to be seen helping the Sri Lankans against the Tamils. But as we dithered, China just supplied arms and supplied backup arms, extra arms, whatever they wanted, and now they've got port contracts, infrastructure contracts for roads, and they've got telecom. An expert for that area says China now owns Sri Lanka. Now that is obviously an exaggeration, but they're in Sri Lanka as well?
They are in Sri Lanka in a big way, and I can understand there we had our inhibitions because of the Tamil Nadu factor. I'll give you another example. Myanmar. We secured an equity stake when I was ambassador there in the Bay of Bengal. China turns up, helps Myanmar in the Security Council, and the oil field, a gas field on which we have an equity stake. We dithered, we delayed. The gas is going to China. Now, one more. Right on our border, near Manipur, we have the Chindwin River with a hydroelectric capacity of 1,500 megawatts. Myanmar is prepared to give us that. For 14 years, we have not yet prepared a project report. And they tell us, if we had given it to the Chinese, we would have had it completed in 4. So unless
India somehow this kind of obsession with Pakistan is forgetting that China is in fact surrounding us.
And to our east, all our eastern neighbors fear China. You know, China has territorial disputes on the maritime boundary with Vietnam, with Brunei, with Indonesia, with Philippines. We never make use of it. Yet they make use of every little vulnerability we have.
But is China, could they be aggressive? Is there something to worry about, or they're just securing their own interests here?
I'd say once you have the capability, the intentions can always change.
Right.
And recently the Chinese Navy celebrated its 60th anniversary in the end of April. And that was quite a big show. And I think it sent, raised concerns all around among the countries which Mr. Parthasarathy just mentioned.
Right.
So it is certainly a concern. Double-digit budget increases for the last 20 years. Now it totals almost $70 billion. So these are things that people do note. And until, as I said, until the intentions are very clear,